Yay! I am live. It has been a minute. Hey there, I am Alexandra Harbushka. I'm founder here of Life With Herpes. I'm excited to be going live with you guys. It has been a while, so let's do it. You guys have been asking me some questions about herpes transmission, about when you can pass it, how you can pass it. So let's talk a little bit about that. Feel free to ask your questions here in the feed as well. Also, what was I going to say? If you haven't checked out lifewithherpes.com, feel free to check that out. But let's just get right to your questions. So, like I said, you can ask your questions directly here in this feed. Okay, can you transmit if you are not currently having an active flare-up? Okay. So, I have a request. Let's see. Are we going to say yes? No, declined. Okay, cool. So can you transmit herpes if you're not currently having an outbreak? Okay, this is a really big misconception that a lot of people have. Originally, we believed that you could not transmit herpes unless you were having an outbreak. Unfortunately, that is not correct. You are able to transmit herpes without an outbreak, but it's only a select amount of time. So it's not all the time. It's called viral shedding. So it's when the virus sheds is when we are contagious. Now, here's kind of the gray area about it is we don't know when the virus is shedding. So the longer you've had the virus, the less active the virus is in your body. It's not going to shed. What is viral shedding? So just like anything that's living, like you can see there's plants and trees behind me, they drop their leaves. If I were to put my hands through my hair, I would have hair come out. It would be like losing your hair. So the viral shedding is the same thing. It's when the virus sheds its extra, virus stuff, DNA, I don't know what it is. At that point, it pops up to the surface of the skin. The post, so myself, for example, I have no signs, symptoms, tingles, itch, blisters. I have no idea that I'm shedding. So that is kind of the downside, that you have no idea. But the other thing that I like to say is, like, you have no idea, so you can't worry about it. The only thing you can do is disclose to partners and say, like, hey, this is the thing, and I need you to know that, and you need to be okay. Like, if you're not okay with that, that's something we need to work out. But I hope that you are okay with this. So that's kind of the information on how you can transmit herpes viruses. The other thing that's a little unfortunate, maybe a big misconception, I'm looking at all these mosquito bites on my head, is majority of transmissions occur without an outbreak. So up to 70% of transmissions occur without an outbreak. So the big misconception is like, oh, I'll be able to look, I'll be able to see, I can tell who has it, I know, I'll be able to see an outbreak, and if I see an outbreak, I obviously won't go there. Unfortunately, we cannot tell when people are contagious. So again, is that good news? Is that bad news? All right, next question. I was just diagnosed with herpes and also found out that I'm pregnant. Congratulations. That's so exciting. Not about getting herpes, obviously, but about being pregnant. That's so awesome. I am so excited for you. So you just found out you're pregnant, and you're a little worried about the baby since I can't see your OBG for a few weeks. I'm taking out my earrings because they're probably making a lot of noise here. Okay, so here's the thing. Yeah, if you just found out you're pregnant, you're probably like a few weeks pregnant, and you will have to see your OBG before 12 weeks. As far as the baby is secure and safe in utero. You're not going to be transmitting herpes to your baby in utero. It's not possible. This is not a body fluids virus. This is a skin-to-skin virus, meaning it is skin-to-skin. So there's no way that this virus can touch the baby in utero. So nothing you need to worry about that. The only thing that I would definitely want to bring up with your doctor is like, hey, I'm just diagnosed. I'm newly diagnosed. Let's get a game plan together for the birth. That's the main thing right now that I would be concerned with, is just getting a game plan. What does your doctor feel comfortable with? What do you feel comfortable with? I had a vaginal birth. Clinton was born out of my vagina, just like every other baby, right? And so that was something that both my doctor my husband and I felt comfortable with. I got on the antiviral the last, I don't know, month of being pregnant to prevent an outbreak. And I felt comfortable having a vaginal delivery. So, but that's so exciting. Again, just get on their same page as your doctor. By the way, if you're wondering what is like that, what's going on, I have incense going, oops, right here, because I'm outside and there's like tons of mosquitoes, and I think that this helps. So I'm not in a hookah lounge, I swear. It looks like it though. Okay, next great question. Is there any way to stop shedding without the antiviral? Unfortunately not. The antiviral doesn't completely reduce shedding either. It does significantly help. That's what the antiviral does. It suppresses the virus. It keeps it from replicating, and it keeps it dormant in your system. When the virus is dormant in your system, you're not able to transmit it. So that's what the antiviral is doing. The other things you can do, it's not a 100%, nothing's 100%, right? But what you can do is you can up with immune fighting supplements. So lysine is a really great way. Lysine actually suffocates the virus. It helps hinder the replication of the virus. So having a high lysine diet or adding lysine supplements is really a great way. Also, I'm a big fan of Monolaurin. Love Monolaurin. And I take that daily. It also helps break down the casing of an enveloped virus, which is what the herpes virus is. So those are some ways that I would recommend boosting your immune system. Other things that boost your immune system that aren't taking supplements are sleep, water, eating healthy foods, like not eating lots of fried foods, sugary foods, processed foods, lots of vegetables, vegetables. And I never met a vegetable that will hurt you. So lots of vegetables, healthy fruits, things like that. Alcohol does lower your immune system, as I'm having a glass of wine. But with that being said, I don't want you to resent the fact that you can't drink or resent the fact you have herpes. When you start eliminating things out of your diet, like, oh, I can't have caffeine. Oh, I can't have a chocolate chip cookie. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. Oh, I can't travel to Costa Rica because if I travel, it'll give me an outbreak. Then you're letting this herpes virus win, and you're letting this herpes virus control your life. That is not at all what I want for you. That's not at all what I want for anybody, right? Let's not let this virus control our life and take over. What we're doing is learning to live with this virus. I use the example all the time. This virus is now a new roommate. It now has decided to live in your body. There's nothing you can do about it. It's a squatter, right? There's nothing you can do about it. You cannot get rid of it. At this point, our technology and science, we are not able to remove viruses from our body. So it'll be with you for the rest of your life at this point. What you have to learn to do is to learn to live with this virus. How do you become in control of the virus, not this virus control you? Let's see. What can you take while pregnant for outbreaks? So for me personally, I did not take the antiviral until it was about a month prior to my due date. So at about like 36 weeks, I started taking the antiviral. I decided not to take anything other than my supplements, like my prenatals and my fish oils and like all these other million things you take as supplements. Lysine is something my doctor did not want me to take because that is not tested on pregnant women. So I did not take lysine, even though you consume lysine daily. I didn't take an additional supplement. As far as outbreaks, what I did was I took, I applied topically tea tree oil to outbreaks that I had. So I would dilute it. Make sure you dilute your essential oils. If they're not, they can like kind of burn. So dilute it with water or coconut oil, and I applied it directly to outbreaks. So that's what I did. Ask your doctor. You can take the antiviral while pregnant. You absolutely can. My thought process was, I can't eat a turkey sandwich. I can't have a sushi roll. I can't drink kombucha. What else can't you have? I don't know. You can't have any of that stuff. So why would I put another drug in my body? That was my thought. But definitely talk to your doctor. I was recently diagnosed and I'm freaking out. Can you tell me more about transferring the virus to another part of your body? Is that true? Yes, it is true. But here's the thing. If you have the antibodies, so if you were recently diagnosed via a blood test, meaning you have the antibodies in your blood, then you cannot transfer it to other parts of your body. I'll repeat that. You cannot transfer it to other parts of your body. You can only transfer it to other parts of your body if you do not have the antibodies. So if you have just gotten it and you were diagnosed via a swab, then you may not have your antibodies yet. So once you have your antibodies, that's when you can be a little bit less careful, I guess. Now, with that being said, I've had my antibodies for years. I don't test it out. I'm not like, ooh, let me see if I can put this in an open wound and see if I get herpes. Like, I don't test it out, right? I wash my hands. I'm careful after I touch an outbreak. Very worried about future dating life. What should I expect? So here's the thing. It is going to require a more in-depth conversation, and we all should have been having the safe sex talk prior to having sex. So I don't know about you, but my safe sex talk went, hey, are you good? And my partner went, yeah, I'm good. And I'm like, okay, I'm good too. Cool. Or like, yeah, you've been tested, right? Yeah, of course I've been tested. And it all came back negative? Yeah. Okay, cool. That was the way my conversations were. So that's most likely why I have herpes, right? I never asked my partner to see his test. I never had a partner go get tested with me, all those things. So there's a lot of ways to weave in, sexy is not the word, but you can weave in with a partner and be like, hey, this is where I am. I really enjoy where we are in a relationship right now. Let's talk about going to the next level. Let's talk about our sexual health. Opening up with sexual health is a really non-aggressive way to begin that really awkward conversation that we need to have about our sexual health. You have nothing to be ashamed of having herpes. Herpes makes us feel very ashamed. Like, I am wrong for having herpes. I did something wrong. You are okay. You don't have it, and you're a good person. I'm a bad person, right? This is a really, really wrong way, bad way to go in a conversation. So the more you can go in with confidence, and the more you can go in feeling like, let's talk about this, the better off that everyone's going to be long term. This is something I know that you can't just like happen overnight. I'd recommend getting in a community and talking to people. There's a lot of communities now that are for herpes support groups. I have one, of course. Would love for you to join our herpes support group, but there are lots of other support groups out there. So find one that you really like and you really connect with. So I tested negative via swab and tested positive via blood test. This means I've been carrying the virus for a while? Yeah, it means that you've had the virus for a while. We don't know how long. That's the unfortunate thing about the herpes virus in our testing. We don't know how long you've had it. And yeah, the swab can be negative when the virus has started to heal. Like if there's a scab or it started to heal or it's too soon, like the virus hasn't really popped up yet, the blister hasn't really popped up, then it can also test negative. Is it possible to, sorry, I'm getting eaten. Is it possible to have had HSV2 for a while and not known and had your first outbreaks years later? Unfortunately, yeah. Or fortunately, I don't know. Yeah, that can happen to a lot of people where they don't know they've had it. They've never had an outbreak, and boom, all of a sudden they get an outbreak. I've talked to people who have been celibate for years, and they're like, where did this come from? Or I've talked to people who have been married for years, and they're like, both of us are committed. We have no idea where this came from. So yeah, it is really it is possible for people to have gotten herpes at some point in their life and then it pop up months, years later. I talked to people where it's been like 20 years later. I was recently diagnosed and my partner doesn't want to take responsibility for it. The best thing I would do is have your partner get tested and see where your partner's at, if he or she is testing positive or negative. You don't want to point fingers, obviously, especially if this is a relationship that you're really committed to. It's one thing if it's like someone you're not really into, different story. But if this is a committed relationship, obviously, you don't want to point fingers, and you just want to have a responsible, healthy communication about it. All right, guys, I will see you all soon in the next video. Thanks for joining me. I'm also on TikTok, so come over. I have some really fun things happening on TikTok, so come over and I'll see you all there. Have a great day. Oh, and yeah, hi from Costa Rica. It's raining, as you can see. Bye, guys.